Hello, my name's Allison Coe. I'm a hypnotist from Portland, Oregon. I'll be reading excerpts from a recent session today. I found that the information could not only give a lot of people hope, it can also give clarity and guidance for what we need to do at this point. This client's session is very detailed, so I'll be sharing a lot of it. She is an art teacher, and so her visions are very clear and very beautiful. If you allow them to paint a picture in your mind, you can see exactly what she is seeing because she's so detailed. The information she gives is also very powerful because it has been validated in several of my sessions with other clients. Hers is so chock full of information that I felt I could just share pretty much the whole session. I have edited out a couple pieces of very personal information that don't apply to anybody else out there in the world, but only to her. I'm very proud of her for being willing to share the session and being willing to come in for a session. I've known her from her previous sessions that she's done with me, and you'll understand why I'm just amazed at her strength and her grace and her ability to want to spread this information with others. I've asked her to write a brief foreword, and I'll read that now before I start reading her hypnosis session. I hope this helps somebody out there. I'm sure it will. So this is from my client. My life as I knew it profoundly changed the morning of Thursday, May 24th, 2018. My 17-year-old son had sent a cryptic message to his older brother in the wee hours of the morning. When his brother finally discovered the text around 8 a.m., we began a search for Joshua, who was missing from his room, and placed a call to 911. 2 hours later, near the entrance to a bridge here in Portland, 3 police officers met me at the spot where I had found my son's pickup truck. One of the officers just shook his head no, and all 3 embraced me in a group hug. I didn't understand what was happening until the lead officer said to me, "I'm sorry, he didn't make it." My son had hanged himself from that bridge around 4:30 that morning. He had refused proper diagnosis and treatment. Here in Oregon, a 17-year-old is legally allowed to refuse treatment. He had an emerging bipolar disorder, what they thought was maybe a bipolar disorder. But he was incredibly bright and knew exactly what to say and what not to say to stay out of institutions. I barely remember my life before that morning. Fast forward through 6 weeks of intense grief, if you will, and through a convoluted set of circumstances, I began receiving information from Josh from the other side through drawings and writing. These communications were about things coming, his life on the other side, and evidence that he was still nearby us most of the time. We had a daily dialogue for several months. We still talk and draw, though less frequently now. Josh had been on the other side for about 14 months when I had this BQH session with Allison. All right, so once again, I would like to thank my client for sharing this information. And some of it will be hard to hear for sure, because for most of us parents, we can't even imagine what it would be like. Don't want to imagine. But this will give many people hope. Okay, so we're starting the session now, and we're dropping down into an experience, and I have the client go through a doorway. What was through that doorway? There's a stone stairway that goes down with thick plants on the right and left of it. It goes down to a beach. There's white, sparkly sand. The water is very clear, It's like a light cerulean blue. There are pink clouds, very low in the sky. It looks like a New Age album cover. I have bare feet. I'm a human female. What are you wearing? It feels silky, like a tunic. It's short and uneven in length. The shortest part is just above my knee. The longest part is mid-calf. It's very flowy. The same with the sleeves, about elbow length. The longest part is mid-forearm. I have light skin. I have an elaborate hairdo of braids wrapping around my head. My hair is sort of like an auburn red. What age range do you feel? About 28. Do you have any ornamentation on your body? I see what looks like concentric triangles, like a pyramid, like a tattoo, but it's not a tattoo. It's in each palm. It's a marking of some kind, but not with ink, and it's blue. What do these markings indicate to you? Energy. Is this something that you've earned, or you've always had, or something that comes and goes? It's something natural. What does it do? Does it have a function? It's for creation. It's for manifestation. Let's try it out. How would you use it? There are some dolphins that just swam up. They made a semicircle in front of me in the water. They're kind of talking. I'm sitting cross-legged. My eyes are closed. My hands are on the sand. Palms are up and the triangles pop out like they stack on each other. The energy is coming into my body. It's filling me up. It's through the palms. It goes to my fingers and also up my arm. It splits then and goes up into my head and down to my toes. And then does it leave your body or does it remain? I'm gathering it to manifest. And then the dolphins swim away. I lift my arms up and open my eyes, and I'm pointing my palms, fingers open, out into the water just in front of me, and I'm making a little dock. It looks like it's clear, a translucent, maybe agate type of quartz. It goes from the beach out into the water, a short walk, and then it's square, and columns come up, indented at the top. It's funny, it's like a Greek landing pad for a small spaceship, a dock in the water, but for a spaceship. Did you design it specifically for that? Yes. What happens after you leave? Does it remain there? If I were to leave, it would leave. I built it so they could land their ship. And who is they? My people, but they're not random people. They're people I know well. The ship is like a squashed ball. It's very light aluminum color. It's a saucer. It's small. It's like a shuttle. There's 4 people in it, and it opens from the bottom. It lands at the top of the columns, and it opens a small staircase at the bottom, and they come out. What do you feel when they come out? I feel relieved. Do you get the sense that it's been a while, or is there something important about their journey here? I feel like they're elders, that they don't look much older than me, though. I feel like they made a small trip, a special trip to this place. This is not normal. How do you communicate with them? Telepathically. Do all of them speak to you telepathically? Or do they have one in particular who speaks to you? I believe 2 of them are speaking to me. Okay. Go ahead and listen and relay to me what they're saying. It's almost like they're royalty, but not quite. There's a man and a woman, and then they each have a helper. I can't tell what the gender is for the helpers. The helpers aren't speaking. The man wears a tall hat, kind of Egyptian in style. The woman has an elaborate braided hairstyle like mine, but she's taller. They're both very tall. I think they're from my council. And what is the reason they came here? They came here because I asked them to. What is the reason you asked them to? Because I'm so lost. What is it that you're lost about? I've forgotten what I'm supposed to do. Go ahead and ask them. I'm ashamed. It's okay. They already know that you've forgotten. You don't have to worry about the shame of it. They're smart enough to know why you called them here. Go ahead and ask them. You're obviously worth the trip. They say it's harder than even they knew. They feel bad for me. I prepared well, but not for this. They come to help. I'm so relieved. I'm just hanging by a thread. What can they tell you that would help you the most? The man is putting his hands on either side of my head. He's downloading more information. I don't have the words. It's okay, you don't need them. Just absorb, and when you're ready, you can talk about it. He puts his hands down. Now the woman is putting her hands on the either side of my heart, front and back. I think she's healing it. Their helpers were each holding a present. Now they give each of them what they were holding. The woman gives me a 3-dimensional red heart. It's like a squeeze ball, a spongy heart. The man is giving me what looks like a ball within a ball with a ring around it, like Saturn. It's like a compass. My grandpa used to have one in his car. It moves around floating. The inside ball floats and outside ball is clear, and it has markings on it. It's like a map. Ask them to tell you what they want you to use these gifts for. The heart is when I have anxiety. Squeeze it when I have anxiety and it will go away. The map is to show me the way, to show where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do. Do you understand how to use it properly? Not right now. Do you want them to show you? They say no. The person on the beach that I'm watching knows how to use it. The person talking to you doesn't. It's like I'm watching a movie. What is the reason why it's so hard, harder than they thought for you down here? What did they not imagine or prepare for? The density. The darkness was far more dense. I see it like a ball of lead with tendrils like a web, and the tendrils had to be sucked back into the ball, and now it's all condensed in a ball. So it will be easier to eradicate it now. But it was too dense and too far spread by the time we got here. It grew really fast. How did this affect you? Did it attach to you in any way or pull you down? No, it drains you. So what is the best way for them to help renew your energy? To open the palms and refill often. They say the worst is over. It's just that we're all so drained. What is your purpose now at this point? You said you did not know what to do. Have they told you now? I think I understand. The immediate purpose is to recharge. After that is to manifest. What is the most important thing to manifest? Confidence. Start small. This is the time. When you realize you can manifest, you can change it all. How do you become more confident? When you see something in your mind's eye and create it, you become more confident, and then you can do more and more. The more you manifest, the more beauty you can manifest, and the more the density recedes. And this confidence needs to be your confidence. Is that correct? Yes, but yours too. Everybody who is light can do this and should do this. It pushes the dark into a condensed area that can be lifted away, like cutting away a tumor. It's like a cancer. It was spread out, but now it's condensing. It's withdrawing into itself so it can be cut out. Who or what cuts it out? The light. Where's your family from? They're from the stars. After they leave, how can you get a hold of them again? Or what's the best way to communicate with them? Fill with energy. Use telepathy. It would be through meditation. What dimension are they from? The seventh heaven. What do they see as a future for Earth right now? They can show you all of this in telepathy. Uprising, outrage, two sides of the same coin. Does that outrage and uprising lower the vibration on Earth or raise it? The people are waking up. There is a righteous anger. It's raising the vibration, but it would be easy to stay stuck at righteous anger. It's rather addictive. There's been so much abuse. It's justified. What's the next level if you wanted to move up the vibrational scale from righteous anger? That's when the wave comes. What are they showing you? I see protests, tear gas, people pushing. I see armed people like stormtrooper police against people. It's not violent like people are being killed in a war, but it's like a street fight, a massive street fight. And then the wave comes. Why does the wave come then? It's the tipping point. Where are we at right now on that timeline? You're very close. Where does this happen? It happens all over. I see New York right now, Washington, D.C., Texas. It's happening all over. What does the outrage come from? The abuse. There's been abuse of children. People haven't been paid for their work. Funds have been misused and stolen, hidden. It was the abuse of the children. That was the tipping point. By whom? A group, a partially hidden group. Follow the money. How was this uncovered? It began with a reporter, a few powerful people, political people that work for the good, for the light. How did they get this message to the masses? What finally outrages people? I know it's children, but that's been going on for so long. What's different this time? What finally gets people's attention? It's not hearsay. There's finally hard evidence. The evidence is recovered. And does the evidence point towards others knowing about this for a while? Oh, yes. Are the children recoverable? I think with the wave, they are healed. And what do they want people, the citizens, to do as this new information is uncovered? Do they want them to step into the outrage? Or do they want them to hold space and light? What would they say is the most important thing to do? Or do they just simply want them to be genuine and feel their feelings? I think most people will protest. And what systems are they protesting? Who's doing this? There is a group. They just create disharmony. There's really no other purpose. They just create strife for the fun of it. Are they the ones hurting the children? Yes, it's global. It's not a political party thing. There are people from both parties involved in the abuse, and there are also light workers in both political parties as well. It's all being exposed now. It's all starting now. What are some signs that we'll notice that this wave is coming closer? Manifestation happens much, much more rapidly. There's not as much of a delay between a thought and a thing. It's when it becomes a critical mass, and that's when the negative is removed. When what becomes a critical mass? The manifestation. So, what should we teach? What's our role in this? Why are you giving us this information today? Because what you think, you create, and the delay is becoming shorter and shorter between thinking and manifesting. And if you are negative as well as positive, the things you think about will create physically much more quickly, which will escalate the strife. So people that are positive oriented need to understand their power so that they have confidence that they can create good, that they're not victims, that they can create the good and they can isolate the evil. And then the wave takes the evil away, like that cancer surgically cut out. Do you feel that this would be best shared, this information that's being revealed today? Yes, absolutely. People need confidence now. They need confidence that they can create. They should track it. They should write down what they intend to create and the date and time, and write down when it manifests, the date and time, so they can see how much quicker it's manifesting now. They should be aware of what they're manifesting. What are some good things that people should focus on manifesting right now that would actually help? They should start small. They could bless their glass of water. They can fill their water with good health, and they could notice an improvement in their health. They could hold their hands over a house plant. They could take pictures of the house plant as it flourishes under their care. They could do it with a garden, and then they could get bigger ideas as they gain confidence. During this time of protest and time of revelation about this widespread abuse, what is the best thing for them to manifest? It's not wrong to protest wrongdoing, but they have to move past the anger into the resolution. It might be easy to get stuck in the anger, especially when they find out what actually happened and they wake up. Once this wave happens, what do you see happening? Do you see people staying on this 3D earth, or do you see them leaving? Some leave, some stay. There's some kind of a split. There's a dimensional shift. I think it's the two earths. Enough people shift dimensionally, and that's why we're able to see the ships there. They're close, but they're actually in a different dimension. So at some point, this wave will raise our ability or our vibration to straddle multi-dimensions, this dimension and the next, and we'll be able to connect with beings or things that are in the next dimension. Yes, I believe so. And that's where she goes, and it becomes a paradise, heaven on earth, the fifth heaven. It will be called the fifth heaven. I'd like to ask if I can now speak with my client's higher consciousness, please. Now, I know you could have brought forth many different experiences for her to have today. You chose to bring forth that experience for her today. Why did you choose that experience? Or why was that important for her to see? So now we're speaking with the higher consciousness. The one thing she needs to focus on is confidence. She was shaken to her core with the death of her son, but there is no death. Is this confidence purely through manifestation that you want her to focus on? Yes. Okay, and why is that? That is her gift. That is her purpose. Do you have anything you'd wish to add? Anything you wish to add to what was uncovered in that experience about where we're heading? We would just start practicing. And those beings that she was with, where was that? When was that? That is now. She was in her true home. She can go there in her mind now. Do you wish to tell her anything more about her home? She can find out herself through her art. Should she go into these art sessions where she's drawing with a certain question or with the intent of uncovering more about her home? She should charge up in meditation the way we just taught her, and then she should draw and listen and write. Is there a certain amount of time she should spend doing that before she draws, or is it more of a feeling that she'll get before it's time? It will be different each time. It depends on how depleted she is. What's the best way for her to connect to the elders outside of this session? She is connected. She just doesn't remember. She'll remember now. She could draw their portraits. That would remind her. How will she know when she's connected to them? She'll get her questions answered. She wanted to know about the event. Is it going to happen in her lifetime, the solar flash? Yes. You had given her some time frames before about the solar flash. Why was there a discrepancy? The darkness had more tendrils than we originally thought. There was more work to be done. So the tendrils had to be kind of revealed and pulled into this concentrated ball like you showed her before? Yes. So with what has happened since her last session with the Me Too movement and things such as that, these tendrils are revealed? Yes. Okay, and this next one with the sexual predation of children, is that correct? Yes. Okay. Are there any others that need to be revealed? There is slavery. Will the slavery be revealed at the same time or at a different time? It's coming. Does that need to happen before this flash? Yes. She wanted to know what happens first. The solar flash, Cascadia earthquake, global flooding from melting glaciers, a new Earth split or ascension. Can you put those in some sort of time frame for her, or tell her what's actually going to happen versus what isn't going to happen? They're intertwined. The flash separates what you would call the old Earth from the new Earth. The old three-dimensional Earth renews itself with the earthquakes and the flooding. The new Earth is already balanced, and that is where ascension begins. She wanted to know, what can she do to ease that homesick feeling, and why does she have it so often? She has it because we are close. Her family is close, but she can't see them yet. She should draw them. She says she used to be so clear about her purpose on Earth. Now she's kind of at a loss, but you explained that her purpose right now is to gain confidence and manifest. Do you wish to add anything to that about what she's supposed to be doing? That's what she's supposed to be doing. She's at a loss because she had made plans for her children. Those were not really her plans to make. She became lost in her role as a human person and forgot her role as a global entity. She'll remember now. In her first session, the higher self said she was biding her time until after the event that changes everything. Was that event referring to the solar flash or her son's death? It was both. She became spiritually transformed with the death of her son, and she will transform again at the flash. In which way will she transform during the flash or after the flash? She becomes light. She will see the things she couldn't see. She wanted to know if it's just her son coming through these drawings at this point. At this point, no. Would you like to tell her who else is coming through her drawings now? He comes through when she asks, but her counsel comes through as well when she's open to it. Can you tell us what effect these drawings are having on a wider audience? They're waking people up. It's been easy not to think. The drawings are trying to make people think. The pain she experienced touched them. It makes them open to her experience. Should she share them with an even wider audience? Yes, she should. Is there a way for her to get off of her diabetes medication? What would you like to tell her about that? She should eat plants, drink water, bless food, bless her water, and be thankful. When will she start noticing her blood sugars drop if she does that? Very quickly. What do you want her to eat less of in order to eat more plants? She should not eat cheese. She knows this. She's allergic to it. She needs to have food that she can eat readily available. She tends to run out of the healthy food and then goes for the easy food. She's craving sugar even more now that she's on the diabetes medication and wants to know if the medication is a cause for that. Yes, and the grief. She's trying to sweeten up her life. She can eat a pineapple. That would be sweet enough. Do you want to tell her anything about why her son chose to go so young? That was the plan. That was a gift. He was a gift, and his death was a gift. She'll never believe that. But without his death, she never would have opened up. They planned it. They planned it together. She has a hard time believing that, but she did. If he hadn't hanged himself, he would have likely had a car wreck. Was his death a gift to anybody else besides her? He had several friends flirting with suicide, not understanding the gift of their life, and he enlightened them by his death. He also is appearing to others and giving them instruction in the afterlife. Where is he now? He's a very strong spirit. He has an aspect on a ship. He's a short dimension away. He's also very close. He didn't go far. What's he doing mostly with his time? For him, there is no time. He works with physics. He works with Tesla. He is learning how to reach through to suicidal youth. He is not a guide yet, but he's taking instruction. He stays close to her. He stays close to his dog. Does he have any messages for her today? He says he never runs out of patience with her asking for signs, that he didn't understand grief when he left, and he's so sorry that it hurt so bad. But it really couldn't be helped. It would have been one way or another. Does he have any messages for his father today? He says he forgives him for the things he said. He says he hugs him all the time. He says he was a good dad. When will they all see each other again? He can't say. Does he have any final messages for her before we switch back to the higher self? He says, watch for hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are easy to bring. He says he'll draw with her anytime she wants. It's never a bother. What kind of signs does he give his brother and father? His father gets hummingbirds as well. His brother is tough because he's not open to signs. that he led him to the car and the girl. That was kind of him. She was told that after the event, her real work begins as a translator for the sky people, spirits, or aliens. Sky people are interplanetary beings. Translator isn't the right word. She'll be a coworker. I could see why translate came up. More of a coworker, a co-creator. When does she start doing that, if she hasn't already? That happens on the new Earth. That happens when the ships are revealed to all, when everybody can see them with their own eyes. She is working with spirit now. We're all working with spirit. She is working with spirit more consciously now than she ever has before. But her work with interplanetary beings will happen after the flash, after the shift. She wanted to know, is CBD oil helping or hurting her connection to spirit? It's helping her right now. She may not need it much longer. She can't connect when she's so sad, and it lifts the sadness. It lightens her. She'll only need it for a month or two longer. What signs will she get that it's time to stop taking it? She'll feel a lightness. She could skip it, and if she feels a lightness, she knows she doesn't need to go back. It's like Noah and the dove. Send the dove out, and if it comes back with an olive branch, you know you don't need it anymore. She wanted to know, why has she had one debilitating injury on her left leg after another? Some of that was so she could physically feel the healing to prevent her from protesting. She should not join the protest, and she will want to. Are you speaking about the upcoming protest? Yes. Why is it important for her to not join the protest? It's more important for her to manifest. This is where she anchors the light. Can you tell her more about that? When the protests begin, she should sit in meditation and anchor the light. Her instinct will be to join the protest, but she can't with that ankle. How important is it for light workers in general to anchor the light during these protests versus being a part of the protest? Some will anchor the light in the protest, but individually. She needs to not be in the protest. She would gravitate to outrage, and that would be a waste. Do you want to reiterate or tell her in any way why she wasn't informed about her son's time on Earth at any of her previous sessions? Are we understanding the reasons correctly, or is there anything you'd like to add? She wouldn't have comprehended it, couldn't have comprehended it. She couldn't have stopped it. She knew it was going to happen. She didn't need to be reminded. Do you have any final messages for my client today? Practice confidence. Practice manifesting. Practice meditating. Joy will follow. She wasn't left here alone. Thank you. She wanted to know, is there anything I need to know right now, either to help others or anything else besides what you've given us today in sessions? You are very precious. You are doing important work. You have a large platform and you need to use it. You're doing very good work. What would you say is the most important thing for others to know right now based on that large platform? That they are creators and they will see their creations quickly, and they should. Being human the way they are, they should record their progress, and then they'll see it's not just their imagination. They should journal their progress on their creations, how long it takes for a thought to become a thing. They will see it rapidly progressing, and then they'll know that the flash is close. Very good. Thank you. I would be honored to share that with people. And that is the end of her session. It probably seems a little bit shorter than normal sessions, but that's just because we edited out some of the things that were irrelevant. to the broader audience. I hope there are pieces of this session that will help some of you out there. I'm sure every one of you will hear something different that applies to them. But it was very powerful for me to listen to the session again after a couple months, because so many of my sessions between now and when the session happened, which was August, I believe, they just reiterated so much of what she said. And it's also there's nothing in my profession, there's nothing more powerful to witness than reconnecting the living with those who have passed, reconnecting them, getting some clarity, getting some relief, and it is palpable. Nothing brings tears closer to my eyes than that. And especially, having somebody so close. So once again, I want to thank my client for being willing to share with all of you. It's very brave of her, and very powerful stuff. And her imagery is incredible. And I hope this helps somebody out there. We all have a role to play, and you are so important. Even with manifesting, we're all creating, right? We're all creating all the time. It's most of us aren't aware of what we're creating, and so we let our minds run amok. But when we're consciously creating, when we're focused on creating something good, that's when the light is spread. So track your progress. I hear it time and time again in every session. Whenever somebody has reached a certain level of healing within themselves, what do they need to focus on? Manifesting, manifesting, manifesting. So very powerful stuff. I hope this helps you. Thank you for all your well wishes. I'm sorry I'm not doing a video, but I would just be sitting in front of the screen reading, so it would be pretty boring video. So I hope this helps someone. Much love to all of you out there. Stay strong. You are so important.